Meghan, we're about to give the entire floor to you, though.
Oh, no.
As we lead up to the Big Ten women's tournament. It starts on Wednesday. We've got the first slate of games, 2 different matchups on Wednesday. If you want to make it all the way and you're starting on Wednesday, that is 5 games in 5 days. No one has ever done it. When you look at this bracket, I'm just talking about the entire thing. Break down what you see for me.
It's a lot of games. But in all seriousness, it's going to be interesting. There was so much movement as of like 8:00 Sunday night before the tournament. Like Purdue could have been I think 10. They got switched over. That Illinois-Maryland matchup's going to be interesting. Illinois had a massive win over Nebraska this weekend, and they're starting to play really good basketball. They have underachieved, and they've been really inconsistent. But when they're good, like they're a very dangerous team. And Maryland still has some NCAA tournament hopes, so that'll be interesting. Wisconsin beat Penn State already this year, and Sarah Williams, I think, should be the Defensive Player of the Year. That all gets announced this week, so that's going to be fascinating. Iowa, you might as well just kind of put them through to the semifinals because they are going to travel really well, and that's practically going to be a home game for them. It was last season. And I think an Indiana-Iowa potential matchup in the semis is going to be a blast. I mean, that could be if they split in the regular season. Mackenzie Holmes went down in the game this weekend with a knee injury, so hopefully she's okay. She was able to jog back out there, but no update on her status, so we'll TBD on that. But Michigan State, Nebraska, those 2 teams maybe having a shot at Ohio State would be really interesting. It's going to be great. Every single matchup is interesting. Everybody's beaten everybody this year. There's like no guarantees. So, I mean, it's sold out for the first time ever. The whole tournament is. Catch it all over on Peacock via the first 2 rounds. It's going to be a blast. Or the first day, first 2 games. It'll be a blast.
What do you think of the games we have on that first day? I know it's like a long shot, right? But like you just want to stay alive as long as you can. So let's
I mean, you never want to have to play on the first day, but like, Northwestern, Purdue will be interesting. Purdue won that first matchup, and now Purdue's without Caitlin Harper. So how does that change the matchup? Northwestern probably played its best game of the year against Rutgers this weekend, so they have some confidence. Minnesota, unfortunately, has kind of started to fall, even though they're the host state, technically, but they've kind of fallen off after dealing with some injuries, Sophie Hart and Mara Braun. And Rutgers has also dealt with some injuries as well, so that could be really interesting to see who moves forward with that. But, you never know. Those first games are going to probably be really close. They were last year.
Well, and the good thing about tournament time in March, and Robbie, that it's a clean slate. Like, okay, yeah, you're playing on the first day and you're at the bottom part of the conference, but there's a conference tournament for a reason. Everyone gets a clean slate, and it doesn't really matter what happened before. It just happens how you perform that day. Like, what needs to be mustered up? Specifically, yeah, maybe like those Wednesday teams, but even like, the teams that are playing on Thursday, that's a hard gauntlet run as well.
Yeah, four games, five games in 5 days, whatever you've got, that's a lot. I think my big takeaway from that bracket is that me and Meghan need to make a bet.
I know, right?
Grudge match here. Lunch has got to be put on the on the docket. Loser buys.
There we go.
But yeah, I think you just have to take it one game at a time. You've got to handle what's in front of you before you can look ahead, and that can be easier said than done, especially for teams that are on the bubble. Meghan mentioned the Maryland women, or you look at maybe the Iowa men, who those 2 teams are going to have a lot to play for. And if Iowa can somehow find a way to beat Illinois last game of the season, then all of a sudden I think that you're looking at a legitimate team that's maybe a team or 2 on the right side or the wrong side of the bubble. So you just got to look at what's in front of you. And I think there's always an anticipation of like you understand how good this can be if you can make a run. And that's the beauty, I think, of the Big Ten tournament, because it is an awesome feeling to get to do that.
Yeah.
But it's always the best time of the year. I'm biased because I think my birthday is coming up. So I was always like, yeah, March is great for that. But then the NCAA tournament, the Big Ten tournament, there's a lot of cool things that are happening on a personal and also a basketball level in this month.
You could start to feel like the Ides of March coming through in the games, both on the men and women's side this weekend. It just got me excited for what's to come.